So welcome everyone. This is our January Simple Page Kit, and this is Kari. I'm here with Cheryl and Colleen, and we are Consistently Creative Crew. So we're glad that you're here, whether you're here in person or watching us on the recording. So Creative Memories came out this year with a new Simple Page Kit, and there'll be one every month. And this one is definitely a very simple one. And the nice thing that they gave us with all of this is in this kit, we have 2 pages of papers, and the one side is colored, the other side is not. I noticed that the instruction or the cover sheet says that it is double-sided designer paper, but it doesn't happen to be any, it's just white on the one side for this kit. And then there is a 12 by 12 cut apart paper. And it's kind of interesting as you cut along, if you cut with this side facing up, so you can kind of see where the lines are. Sometimes it's really hard to actually get right on that line, on that dividing line between the two patterns, because this is what the back actually looks like. So we kind of flip our paper back and forth as we're cutting, just so we can make certain we get clean cuts between the different patterns. And then there is a sticker sheet that comes in it, and it's really nice with lots of stars. It's got Rebel in This Moment, and then Good Vibes, Simple Joy, Today Shines. So some fun things to kind of start out our year. And on the cover sheet that comes with it from Creative Memories, not only do they give us some of the coordinating cardstock colors that would coordinate in case you want to map your photos or add some other things here in here. They have tangerine, baby blue, songbird blue, deep orchid, and white. But they also, in this lower corner down here, they have the photo sizes. So this was designed for 2 3.5 by 5.5 photos and 4 by 3 photos. So that is the kit as it comes from Creative Memories, and we'll, in a few moments, I will be getting that together and getting that assembled. In addition, there is this additional foiled embellishments, and I don't know how well you can see, but they are definitely sparkly and foiled festive moments, and they look like fireworks, and it says celebrate. So those are kind of fun that go along with that. And in addition, for those of us who are not actually creating the kits traditionally, if we're doing it digitally, we've provided some instructions here that have not only what the cut apart look like as far as dimensions, but there is a sketch here on the back that shows you what the design on the base papers looks like, and also what the dimensions for the final layout looks like. So that should help you create all of these pieces in Artisan, and I will be doing that shortly on the recording. But this is also great if you want to use your paper stash, because this is something that would be very simple to go ahead and do, because they basically have on the left side paper, it's 6 by 12, 2 pieces, and you could weld those together. And the right side base paper is just a single sheet of paper. And then you're just cutting some paper apart for some borders and some mats for your photos. So it should be a fairly simple and easy kit to create. And it's nice to have a fun one here for January. So before I get started, does anyone have any questions? All right, so the only things we're going to need is our trimmer. And so I've got my 12-inch here. And so like I said, I tend to flip this back and forth quite a bit as I go, because if I flip it over, I can see the dividing line here between pieces 4 and 5 is actually, where the pattern changes on the one side of the paper. So I like to cut that with the pattern side up, but the other parts I'm good with cutting the other way down. So these are all 1/2 inch, so I can actually line those up on my trimmer and just cut until I get to number 4. So there's 4 1/2-inch strips that we're trimming off of here. And now when I'm going to cut on number 4, I'm actually going to turn the paper over so that I can line it up. And if you have the Creative Memories trimmer, what's really great is that you can see where the point is. And I'm going to try to angle that so that you can see where that little pointer is sticking out from where the blade is. You could line it up and you can actually see where you're going to be cutting. So that's a great thing about it. So I like to line it up, check it near the top and the bottom and make certain I'm good and it's straight before I go ahead and cut. And now I know that I didn't leave any of the darker purple on the lighter piece or get some of the lighter parts. So that's 4 1/2-inch strips. Then this next part, I'm going to go ahead and I was going to flip it over, but I can see that I've got this journaling box. And I don't know how well the colors turn up on the video, but they're very different. So I'm actually going to line this up on here so that I can actually see it. And make certain that I get a good cut right between those two. And then I'm actually going to cut that piece off also with the face up, so I make certain that I've got a good cut there too. And that's piece 5 and piece 6. And then between 7 and 8, I've got a pattern change again. I did a lot of pattern changes here. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up again. My camera. And then this last one is actually 2 4x6 mats. So just kind of repeating those. If you were cutting your own pieces, we got 4 strips that are 1/2 inch by 12 inches. We have 1 piece that is 3 by 10. We have a piece that is 3 by 2. We have a 3 by 12 inch strip and 2 4x6 inch mats. So that comes together. And then their suggestion for the example is that you put of the base papers that they're just slightly different. You put the white all the way over on the left, and you can put these border strips near the top and the bottom of both pages. I can't tell how well the colors look on the video, but it's really nice actually here in person. And they recommend that you leave some room by 4x3 photos and you put these 2 vertical, but honestly, if you wanted to have them horizontal, you could definitely change this up and have some landscape photos. Yeah. And then they tuck this guy right in here. Then the other things that they include here are they have some stickers going across the top. They put the border, they have these nice border strips going across the top. They use this Revel in This Moment as a title, and they put some stickers all amongst the page and use actually quite a few of these in their layout example. So before I switch over to my desktop, does anybody have any questions about assembling the page kit?
About how far from the bottom of the page are the two, are piece, well, I guess it's piece 7 and piece 5.
So I think it depends on your 4x3 photos, or if you have 4x3 photos up here. So what I would probably do is lay out my photos first and then stick those 2 strips down and see how they look best on your page. Because I think depending on how wide or how tall those strips are and how much spacing you put in between them is going to determine where you want to have those strips across the top or across the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, if you're like rotating photos or anything like that and have landscape and instead of portrait, again, I would wait and adhere that banner like that goes across the 2 pages. I think you're fine with the top and the bottom, but the things that go across the 2 pages, you may want to wait to adhere that until you're fairly confident that you've got, your orientation for your photos. Because while it's a really nice layout, it is just a guide. All right. I think I'm gonna pause. All right, so I've switched over to my desktop so I can actually walk through how I'm going to create this in Artisan. And when I start creating things in Artisan, I tend to look at the overall layout and decide what I'm going to create first, because some pages are set up so that you can actually either duplicate one page and easily create the second, or you can mirror image it. And it looks like, looking at the way these pages are laid out, I can actually create the left page and mirror image it and almost have the right page done.
Wow.
So I am going to do that. And one other thing that I tend to do, just to kind of make things a little bit easier for myself, is as I'm creating, especially if I don't know what papers I'm going to use, I lay out the entire 2 pages with the colors that are already in the guide. I then save those pages out as templates, and then I can change it all up as much as I want. So what I'm just did was grab a snipping tool and grabbed the sample layout that Creative Memories provided us, and I'm going to go ahead and just paste that here onto my Artisan desktop. So I just copied and Control C and Control V to get that. So one thing that I always like to do is I start with a shape for the background, and this fill is actually just, I'm going to just make it white. I'm going to make it 12 by 12. And in case you haven't been working with us in Artisan very much, I do this because if I end up changing the opacity of the background, I get these strange checkered boxes. I'm going to show you by hiding this. So if I lower the opacity of the background here, I end up getting these strange checkered boxes, which doesn't actually print, but it's very hard to discern what does that really do as far as changing the color of my background paper. So I like to give myself basically a base paper digitally that isn't the background. So that way, if I start playing with the opacity of it, I don't, so if you see, if I do that with this, it doesn't actually do anything. So it'll be more clear if I had that in a color, but that's actually why I start with a base all the time. So then the next thing that I'm looking at is I'm looking at my instructions, and I can see that there is a 6 by 12 inch rectangle that's blue. So I'm going to go ahead and just create this 6 by 12. And I'm going to fill it with a blue. I'm sampling just the blue that's there. And this is just for me to create the template so that I can actually get it and have it look similar to what is on the layout. And then later on, I will just change it all up. Then there are some 1/2 inch strips at the top and bottom. So I'm going to do that. So those are 12 by 0.5. And that one is going to be purple. And it was this darker purple, like that. And I'm just going to drag it up and get it up at the top. And then I can just copy and paste this and put it at the bottom. Now the next piece I want to do is I want to do that purple, light purple banner that goes across the middle of the page. So I'm going to grab another rectangle. And this one was 10 by 3. And I'm going to sample that light purple, put that down here. I don't know exactly where it's going to be yet. I will figure that out after I get my photo mats in. And then I have one more rectangle, and this one is going to be 4 by 6. This is just a dark purple photo mat. And it's going to be somewhere over here. Again, I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to go ahead and get the photos in. I'm going to go ahead and save this just so I don't end up having a problem. So my 3 photos, I've got a 4x3 photo, and I'm going to have 2 of those. So I'm just going to kind of get this one lined up, and I'm going to copy and paste and put a second one in. And then my last photo is 3.5 by 5.5.
Oh,
And then I'm just going to align that on the photo mat by selecting both of them and doing the second and the third. And just for the moment, I am going to group that photo mat and photo together. So as I'm moving things around, I don't have to grab them. So they don't really give us any sort of indication on here as to where these photos are, where the lining, where they line up. If I bring that other image back on my screen and I zoom in, you can't really, it's not like they've lined up the bottom of the photo mat with the other photo. It's just kind of laid in there. It doesn't even look like it's centered, so I don't think it really matters. I think they just try to give a generous space at the top and the bottom of the layout. So I think that is probably good enough. So I'm going to save that page. And then, like I had mentioned before, when I started the layout, I can mirror image this layout and create the right page. So I'm actually going to select on the down arrow, insert a mirror image of this page, and it actually puts it first. So I'm going to actually grab it and slide it and make it second. So now I've got a 2-page layout, and this I'm going to show you what I have by going to 2 separate pages.
can you undo that and do it again, please? I'm sorry.
I can. I will be happy to do it again. I will move it out of the way. So when I have the first page,
Yeah.
I'm going to just move that one out of the way. So this is all I have is I have the first page. And if you
Right.
go to the drop down arrow, if you just hover over it, I haven't clicked on
Uh-huh.
anything, off on the right hand side of that
Yep.
edge, you'll get a drop down arrow.
Yep.
And if you click on that, there's a number of options that appear. And one of them is duplicate the page, and another is insert the mirror image of this page.
Goodness gracious. Okay.
So I use that really regularly when I'm doing a lot of these project recipes or simple page kits, because so often they're mirror images or they're duplicates.
Or
So,
they're close.
or they're very
Or
close.
they get you 85% of the way there.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm like, why bother doing all of the work again? Because all I have to do is say insert a mirror image of this page. Now, when it inserts it, it truly inserts it before the page that you were on, because that's what, insert means in
Right.
this language. So you're going to actually take that page and you're just going to click on it and hold it and drag it over to the other side. So now it's on the correct side. Does that
Okay.
help?
Thumbs up. Yep.
Awesome.
Totally. Got it. Thank you.
Yes. So now you can see with my 2 separate pages that I've got the layout. The only thing I'm really missing is this little journaling box that's over here on the side. So I'm going to go back to my single page view. I'm going to get on the correct page and I'm going to insert that. And you can see when they inserted the mirror image, they truly mirror imaged it, because this, I'll drag it up to the top, is the mirror image of what it was originally. So the words are backwards, everything is backwards, because they truly made this as a mirror image. If that really mattered to you, you could flip it over by rotating it on the arrange button. But since this was just a go by for colors and layout, I don't really need to do that. But it's kind of interesting that all the words are now backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this journaling box, and it was a fairly small sheet of paper, so it was insert rectangle, and this is a 2x3, and it was like a light beige color. I mean, it was really hard to. I don't know what the color was, but it was something like that. But traditionally, it was basically a white journaling box with a thin border around it. So what I did was I copied this box and I pasted it, and now I'm going to make it white. So it's a journaling box. And then I'm actually going to lower it, the dimensions, by 1/4 of an inch, because that seemed about what it was. So 1.75 by 2.75. And then I just aligned the two on top of each other with the second and the fifth again. And I'm going to go ahead and group those. The original recipe actually had this tilted and then tucked behind here, which you may or may not want to do. But I really recommend when you're rotating that you kind of group these two things together just so they're easier to keep together. And I think that should be everything on those layouts. So let me just take another quick glance. I think that looks a lot like that. So the final thing that you can do that might help you down the road if you want to recreate this is to save this page as a template. So one way to do that is to give it a name and give it the fact that it's the left page, and then do the other one and say that it's the right page. So when you want to do that, if you want to bring it back into an artisan project, you want to have your pages be exported into a template directory so that you can have that. And I have to get to my templates. And I have a folder called My Templates, and it's specifically for these type of things. I have one here for Creative Memories project recipes. I'm going to just create a new folder because I haven't moved all of my simple page kits over to this computer. And you don't have to separate them. You just want to name it something that you'll kind of find them. I like to put the left and the right pages with the same rest of the name so that way I can find it. I'm just going to call it Your Own Way Simple Page Kit 01 left. And I'm going to copy that name so I don't have to type it again. And you do want to save it as a Artisan 6-page export, and then save that. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the right. And I don't want to also call it left. I'm glad it caught me. And I'm going to do it right. And now if I want to bring those in some other project or at some other time, the way I would do that is I would go up to the top. I would go to add a page file from my computer. I'm going to go back to that same directory where those templates are. And you can see that I have the option to bring both of those in. I can bring them both in at the same time. It'll take a few moments for it to actually do that. Write that from my hard drive into these two pages, but that is it. And then you can go ahead and change colors, change papers, change your fill, add things, add embellishments, whatever you need to do. So are there any other questions that we should get on the recording for the moment? All right, we'll pause so we can create.
Go.
All right, so I don't have my pictures printed, but I decided what I would do was lay out where the photos would be. I decided I didn't want to stick these right into the edge. So I actually took some pieces of cardstock, cut them into the size that those photos would be so I could kind of see how this was going to lay out. And I also decided I wanted to try to flip one of the portrait photo mats to be a landscape. Nice. So this is how it was originally. And one thing I noticed as I was looking at their stickers is that they actually layered stickers on top of photos, which is something I don't tend to do. So I thought it would work out fine to turn that one because I take a lot of landscape photos anyway. So this is what it kind of looked like. And the interesting thing is there's not a single sticker left on the
Ooh,
sheet.
nice.
Yes.
Love
Isn't that
that.
a wonderful thing, right?
I love that. Nice
So
job.
there's nothing left. Now there is this little, sparkly
Ooh.
thing, which I may end up figuring out how to use on here at some point, but I was really pleased with
Pretty
that.
great.
So there is the traditional one. And again, if you wanted to mat these photos, they give you a couple of ideas of what the coordinating cardstocks would be. You might see as you go to put your photos on here that they're not popping very much, and maybe you need to mat them a little bit, but you can always do that by just adding a little mat. So that's the traditional kit. So let's see. I think some people have some samples. Lynn, you want to go ahead and share yours, or should you go last?
Sure.
No.
You tell me.
Ola, why don't you go first?
Sure.
You make Lynn go last.
Sure.
For those of you who've been watching us for a while, you'll know how that goes.
If you didn't, you'll catch on real fast.
Yep, real fast.
Oh,
that's gorgeous.
I like
Ooh,
that.
Very nice.
Very
Oh.
nice.
Yeah, I
Book
like those
nerd.
papers.
It's a book
Mhm.
nerd bundle.
That's
It's really
nice.
good.
Oh,
Is
my
that's the
word.
new one that came out?
No, well, it's part of the new one was just an add-on to the original one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love that. I
Nice.
love that plaid color.
I do too.
Yeah.
And your
Those
strip
worked
goes
out really
perfect with it.
well. Yeah,
Very
nice.
nice.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Awesome. Looks like a fun day too.
That's what I like about this creative memory stuff. I was going to do a hard copy, but I just didn't feel like going up there.
Yeah.
But you still get such good layouts and stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Okay.
it's
Miss Cindy, you want to share?
Sure.
Oh, very
Oh,
nice.
very
That
pretty.
is cool.
I like
All
that.
right.
Very pretty, yes.
I can't believe you. Oh, wow, that was from January 10th. That was like 11 days
They
ago.
just won. I know it.
Just won. I'm so
They
excited.
won two things that time. They won the album of the year and the
Nice.
song.
Nice. Excellent.
I'm gonna wear my K-drama and BTS shirt next time.
Do you watch K-dramas and K stuff?
Yes, and C-dramas.
Yes. I got a buddy now.
There
Woohoo.
you go. There you
Watching
go.
Idol right now.
Okay. Terry, you want to share yours?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Oh, very
nice.
Nice.
cute.
Oh, I
Very
like
nice.
those colors.
Yes.
Turned out
Almost
well.
like
Pretty.
almost like color blocking in there. It's
It
really
is.
pretty. Yeah.
They go so good with the pictures.
It sure does.
And I like the letters that you use for Pluto in 95. That's great. That's awesome.
That's good.
That's
Guys are
great.
good for the soul.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice job, Terry. First time
Thank you.
joining us in actually
Yeah.
quite a while. So getting
And
back
you
into
tilted those pictures.
Yeah, she did. Look at her.
I'm a
Sharon, do you have
tilter.
something you want to you can share?
I
Okay,
didn't put the photos on
that's
because
okay.
I don't know what order these are going to be used in.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, can you
Oh,
move them back just a
nice.
little bit so we can see? Oh,
There we go.
yeah.
So
So
good.
I
you
like
used
those
some
papers.
scraps and pulled them all together.
Really
Nice.
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 Very nice. I like
So
how
Very
that
I'll
turned
nice.
probably
out.
have the traditional middle, but I tend to try to get as many pictures as possible on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I hear you.
So
Yeah.
I just don't know which order
Uh-huh.
these will be in the ones I'm working on now. I'm making each of my grandchildren albums from birth to 18 years old.
Oh my
So
goodness.
for
Nice.
graduation. So
That's wonderful.
That is
I'm working on the 25-year-old's album right now.
I feel you.
Well, I shouldn't say album, I should say albums.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
each one of them's ending up with 3 or 4 albums.
Deanna,
Oh,
did you have
nice.
something to share? Were you doing
Not
the kit?
really. No, I
Okay.
did the kit, but I only put photos on one side. So
That's okay.
yeah,
That's
no,
okay.
yeah.
Lynn, go ahead, and then we'll do Cheryl's because she did a different kit, but it's really neat to see. So.
Oh, really
Oh, very
classic.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really nice.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
So I only had 4 photos, so I changed where they were positioned and the
Yeah.
size of them. And I knew I had quite a big journaling box that I needed to put in there. So
Keep it up there.
Nice.
I
Got to get a
changed it
picture
that
from
way.
my inspiration book.
Ah,
I really
Aw,
like
got
that
it.
ribbon, the ribbon across the top that goes with
Yeah.
the
I do
font.
it. Yes.
Yes.
The little film strip down there works perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nailed it again.
pile of old
Yep,
photos.
I love that.
Cool.
Nice.
So do you have, Lynn, do you have your embellishments tagged, or do you just know that there's kits that you really like?
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
I do have my embellishments tagged, but basically what I was looking for in my content manager was a kit that was vintage because of the
Okay.
photos. I looked for a vintage kit and then I decided on this one. I tried another one and it just wasn't working out. This one I'm not so sure of because this center strip here is so much like the background, but I also needed something that
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
the wording would show up on. So I left it that way. And all of these embellishments came from this kit.
Got it.
Okay. No, I love that
Lovely.
strip
Everything's
back
from
there.
the
It's
same kit.
perfect.
Yeah, it's subtle,
Mm-hmm.
but then the way you've got the photos matted and the strips and everything. Very very nice. I like that twisted ribbon thing across the top there too.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yep.
Thank
That looks good.
you.
Very nice.
You need to share those pictures with somebody in your family, you know. I
You
don't
don't
have
have
those.
these. I'm sure you have these pictures. They're
I'm
on
not
the
sure.
Forever website on
Oh, well,
because
yeah,
I
they're not there.
uploaded those pictures.
Okay.
Maybe
It took
she
me
can
a
just
while to
share
figure
the
out.
page layout.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out how to identify these photos because they were in my mom's photos, and how did they have pictures of them just walking down the street?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a nice story there, which I just read,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
I
Yep.
I
Cool.
do have the story because I looked it up
Yeah,
and I just
very
thought it
neat.
was interesting.
It is.
Nice.
That's cool.
Very good.
Nice.
That is neat.
Okay. Let's look at Cheryl's table. So Cheryl had a
Oh,
different kit that
nice.
she
The
was
little
creating.
Oh,
It's
my
really
word.
nice.
Sorry.
Nice.
Very
Well,
nice.
Treasured memories.
Yes. Treasured memory simple page kit. No idea where I got it. Obviously from Creative Memories at some point, but anyway, I
Very
thought it
pretty.
was good
Use
for
this
the wedding,
wedding photos.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
got the blue theme, so it's perfect for that. So I had it in the wedding pile, my simple, I don't know, what are these things that have everything in it?
Nice.
I forgot what
Very
they're
good.
called. Folders.
Nice.
Yep.
That's awesome.
We'll be
Okay.
anxious to see the wedding photos.
I
Mhm.
know, right? Me too.
All right. And then I have mine. I did hopefully you
Aw.
can see it. So I have
Aw.
the puppies.
I
Waiting
love
for
that
Right?
paper too.
Dad.
Oh,
The
it's
colors
so
are great.
cute.
Oh,
Mhm.
thanks.
Aw.
Thanks.
Match the puppies perfect.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Aw.
They can spend like an hour just standing there waiting for him to come
Aw.
back up. It's like truly a waiting game.
I like that little sign though. Be the person your dog thinks you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's nice.
What kit is that?
Hold on. Puppy Love by LJS Designs.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I am so glad that so many joined us tonight and that
it's awesome.
people created pages. We've got a lot of digital. We've had it all tonight. We had the kit, we had using scraps, we had digital, we had some people organizing and cleaning up things. We had a lot. So it was awesome tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. If you created with us, please definitely put a image in our Consistently Creative Croppers Facebook group. There is an album for the Simple Page Kit for January there. You can just upload a photo there. And if you're watching the recording, we'd still love to see whatever you create. So anything that you like or comment on helps get us a little bit more traction and allows people to see some of our videos, and we'd love to have you join us. So thank you so much. Next week is our VIP class, and so that one is not open to the public, but it is open to all of our customers. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Kari.